bulls means there is more than one bull.
Correct.
So, Mullahs, we are in the first sentence of this procedure. There are more than one bulls. Unfortunately, I've seen it myself. It does, Mullahs. What happens is, I tell you, this is a 15-second exercise.
That's right.
15-second exercise. The bull is running,
bull
and
is
he
running.
goes on to the back of the bull and embraces the hump. And he does it for 15 seconds, 3 jumps of the bull, and that's over. Appearing in writ petition 26 of 2016.
That is Tamil Nadu.
Yes, no, I am respondent number 4 in that petition, Mullahs.
Okay.
That's State of Tamil Nadu. And writ petition 27 of 2016, where the state is respondent number 2.
Yeah.
Now, Mullahs, I'll just about in 5-10 minutes give your lordships what my submissions are going to be, so it'll be easier, Mullahs.
26 and 27.
26 and 27, Mullahs.
Both of 16.
Both of 16. Now, Mullahs, it's no gainsaying that we live in an interdependent world. And the evolution of the species, Mullahs, has demonstrated to us that while we are dependent on animals, the preservation of the animals is also very important for our own livelihood. But there are animals of 2 kinds.
My brother is asking, this is a repetition of 16.
Yes.
Have they amended the repetition challenge? They have challenged.
Yes, they have.
They mentioned that.
So, Mullahs, over centuries, Mullahs, after the origin of the species, many species are becoming extinct, Mullahs. And there is a food chain, Mullahs, which is necessary for the survival of both animals and man. But there are 2 kinds of animals. One that are wild, so-called wild animals, and the other are domesticated animals. In the present petition, we are dealing with domesticated animals. The Act deals with both, Mullahs. The Act defines an animal to be a creature, a living creature who's not a man. It deals with both categories of animals.
In fact, in the Animal Welfare Act in England, which is the latest act, they have taken care to make a slight differentiation. They have said vertebrates.
Yes.
All vertebrates.
Yes, correct. Because we don't consider, Mullahs, vertebrates, or we don't consider species who live under the ocean because they are captive to the ocean.
Correct.
So we don't treat them as animals. But
they would be included in animals.
I agree, Mullahs, but I'm just saying, all living creatures. Because the definition itself says.
That's right.
That's right. So we're dealing with domesticated animals. That's very important. Mullahs, to domesticate an animal is not an easy job. Mullahs, at least when I was young, I used to watch these American films with these people on horseback lassoing horses. Rodeos. There was a lot of pain, there was a lot of suffering. But you still domesticate. Is it necessary? Is it unnecessary? I don't know. But the very act of domesticating an animal involves pain and suffering. Well, many animals don't see the light of the day. They are captive in cages. Only for us on the table. It involves pain and suffering. Is it necessary? Is it unnecessary? I don't know. I mean, as we evolve and law evolves, that question will be answered one day. But the important part is that the Act deals with unnecessary pain and suffering.
Yeah.
So my first proposition is domestication of an animal itself is painful and the animal suffers. What is prohibited is unnecessary. pain and suffering. Secondly, Malats, that we are dealing with the rights of private individuals who own these animals. We're not talking about state action here, Malats. We're talking about state action in the context of Entry 17. But ultimately, it is to regulate the conduct of human beings, qua animals. That's the focus of the Act. To regulate the conduct not of the animals, but to regulate the conduct of human beings.
Yeah.
The third element which is necessary for your lordships to consider is that the moment you have a legislation termed Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, there is a legislative presumption that there is the existence of cruelty. It is to prevent cruelty that the legislation has been enacted. There is the legislative presumption. And it is therefore to prevent cruelty that the law is enacted. So the underlying principle in the legislation itself is that domesticated animals are subjected to cruelty. A dog, all species, Malats. And Malats, the fact of the matter is that I will just give as a side, Malats, there is a particular culture in France where they feed a particular bird and keep it in the cage till it bursts. And then they have it on the table. It's a practice. So one thing I agree with, that animals are sentient animals. They have sensitivities. They suffer pain. No doubt about it. All animals suffer pain when they are domesticated. I mean, just imagine, Malad, you see the kind of, in the old days, we used to go on Tongas, Malad, from the railway station to our homes, Malad. See the number of people who used to be on the Tonga? The poor horse used to sort of weighed down by the sheer weight. Suffering. Necessary? I don't know.
What causes pain?
What causes pain? All kinds of things. Well, it's noise cause. I give you a lot of example.
What causes physiologically? What causes pain?
Any external what should
Stimuli.
Stimuli. Yes. Any external stimuli.
What is the mechanism by which pain is produced in a human body, for example?
Again, Mala, it's external stimuli or internal.
It is at the
yes, and then it's
the existence of neurons.
Yes.
In the brain.
Yes, correct. Your lordship is right.
So in fact, if you see, there are a lot of studies which they are really tentative. What is the nature of the pain that is caused to animals? Our brain different from the rest of the species. The existence of billions of neurons in our brain is what constitutes our brain.
Correct.
It goes from the
absolutely
receptors in your wherever it is. Similarly, like you put a hand and take it back.
Correct.
Goes to the spine, then goes to the
correct
lower part of the brain.
Correct.
And there you have so many millions of them producing. In respect of other species, studies are going on. Actually, really, are they experiencing pain? It itself is a subject that is nascent. It is in its infancy.
Malas, I can only see the manifestation of it. You take a dog near a fire, Malas, he'll go back. So, I mean,
Obviously.
Yeah, you know,
Life-saving.
he senses danger. So, Malas, he now wants to protect itself.
Right. So, for example, Because take for example the bird.
Yes.
How does it live in the Arctic or wherever they live in the very cold regions? Their system, body mechanism.
Yes, of course.
They don't require sweaters. I would have thought, why they are, how they are protected.
Well, that's
Nature protects. They've got a special mechanism.
Let me give you two examples, Mullah.
Thick skin, you say.
Many years ago, I was in Lake Baikal, Mullah, in Russia. And Mullah, in Lake Baikal, there is a fish, a small little fish, which is at the bottom of the lake. And you can imagine the pressure of water on that fish, but it survives. What is the mechanism? We don't know. Give you another example. I was in the Arctic, Mullah, many years ago again. And in the Arctic, there is a bird that comes from the Antarctic. And on a given day, comes to the, and every year on the same day, it reaches the Arctic and it flies back on a particular day to the Antarctic. And it knows its way. We have yet to discover all these things. But be that as it may, that's the mother's, this is only by the way.
They have identified the principle. It enables
Yes.
the birds to fly exactly.
Absolutely.
They have put it down to, I will tell you, before so they
Yeah. Now, Malas, the other thing that your lordship needs to appreciate, and I think where the judgment has gone completely wrong, not every duty results in a concomitant right or a corresponding right. As a matter of law, Malas, my duty to respect the national flag, there's no right involved. It's part of my duty under 51A. And several of those duties, there are no rights involved there. So that's the other aspect that your lordships will have to look at. And the judgment in Nagaraj presumes that because there is a duty to ensure the well-being of the animal, there is a right of the animal to demand well-being. No such right. Rights are given by law. Law is made by human beings. And rights are of two kinds, against the state and our relation with each other and with nature. When I say each other, it means your fellow human beings and nature. So there is no concept of rights of an animal. There is the concept of making sure that in our relationship with the animal, we follow certain moral norms. And the underlying moral norm is not to cause unnecessary pain and suffering.
A court in Ecuador is perhaps Ecuador.
Yes.
And ironically, people by the Spanish, the mix of the Spanish and the Indian tribes, they have come up with, for the first time, they have created an animal rights.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can get that judgment. Must be in Spanish. So, like to see that. A monkey was picked up when it was a child, if I can describe the monkey as a child, by kept as a pet for about 18 years. The officials swooped down on her, took it away, put it in a zoo or put it back in the forest. Within 1 month, monkey died of cardiac arrest.
Yes.
So she took the matter to court. And there the court said animal rights. The one judgment, we'd like to see it if possible. With
we'll try and get it.
Ecuador.
Very done. So, Malaj, that's one aspect of it. The other is, Malaj, and that's the factual part that your lordships will have to consider. The Nagara judgment proceeded on a particular regime that was prevalent at that time. Now, in Nagaraj, the Animal Welfare Board presented 3 reports of 2013. Pursuant to directions by this court to go and investigate as to what's happening on the ground. The report of the Animal Welfare Board of India was presented. These reports were presented to the court. The court took them as the factual basis of what was happening on the ground. Section 11 has been amended. 11.3 has been amended. Section 22 has been amended. And Section 27 has been amended. So, my lords, the plenary power of the legislature and parliament is to amend. Nobody can question that unless you say that it is outside of entry 17 of list 3. Nobody is saying that. They are saying it's a colorable exercise of power because it perpetuates cruelty. Cruelty is legislatively presumed in the legislation itself. And the idea is to prevent it. And therefore, the new regime seeks to prevent it. If the new regime seeks to prevent it, it can't be tolerable exercise of power.
If you read section 11,
Yes.
just to
Certainly.
say, if any person beats, kicks, overrides, overdrives, etc., 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 acts of cruelty. This is taken from 1909 British Act.
Yes.
Exactly, it's taken from the 1909 British Act.
Yes.
And you make a declaration in the amended provision.
Yes.
That nothing in this act will apply to Jallikattu.
Yes.
No, that is a legislative declaration.
Yes.
That you may do all these things when you do Jallikattu.
Yes. No, Malas, that's not correct. That's not.
If you see the amendment.
Yes, I'll see the amendment. Let's kindly see.
Are you not saying that you can kick the animal, you can do all this?
No, not at all. I'll demonstrate that. We'll just take the amendment first. Volume 1. Yes, I'll look at that. Tamilnadu. 137. Now, let's kindly see, first of all, this amendment comes in 2017.
This is the convenience.
Joint compilation, volume 1. I'm not taking any other.
That's right.
Let's see 11.
Let's see 11.
But let's kindly see 3.2 first. Because the amendments have to be read in the context of the others also. Because 11.3 has to be read in that context.
Page?
Well, it's page 137 of the compilations, document number 13.
Yeah.
Kindly see, Maras. Notwithstanding anything contained in subsection 1, that's the amendment to section 3. The conduct of Jallikattu subject to such rules and regulations as may be framed by the state government shall be permitted. Now, Malas, you just note one fact. This act came into being, Malas, in January 2007, 21st January 2017.
Correct.
But on 16th of a notification was issued by the 7th January 2016 by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, which your lordship will find at page 193. That's important. That's an important question, my Lord Justice Joseph asked. I just want to answer that straight away. Kindly see page 193 of this compilation.
Yeah.
This is before Mullah's the amendment. It says, in exercise of the powers conferred by Section 22 of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act and in supersession of the notification of the Government of India, dated 11th July 2011. Mullahs, that's the notification, Mullahs, on the basis of which Nagraj is rendered. Nagraj is rendered. Except as respects things done or omitted to be done before such supersession, central government hereby specifies that the following animals shall not be exhibited or trained as performing animals with effect from the date of publication of this notification. And then, Mullahs, it includes bulls. Your Lordship, it's over the page. Provided that bulls may continue to be exhibited or trained as a performing animal at events such as Jallikuttu in Tamil Nadu and bullock cart races in Maharashtra, Karnataka, Punjab, Haryana, Kerala, and Gujarat in the manner by the customs of any community or practice traditionally under the customs or as part of culture in any part of the country subject to the following conditions. Mind, Miller, just note here there are two aspects. One, custom or part of culture. I'm not going to argue the culture part of it. My learned colleague, Mr. Dwivedi, will do that. But it's covered under custom as well. Then what does it say? On the following conditions. Such event shall take place in any district where it is being traditionally held annually at such place explicitly permitted by the district collector or the district magistrate. 2. Bullock cart race shall be organized on a proper track which shall not exceed 2 kilometers. In case of Jallikattu, the moment the bull leaves the enclosure, it shall be tamed within radial distance of 15 meters. 3. Ensure that bulls are put to proper testing by the authorities of the Animal Husbandry and Veterinary Department to ensure that they are in good physical condition to participate in the event and performance-enhanced drugs are not administered to the bulls in any form. That's the change of regime that I was talking about. That's the argument I was making. Ensure that the rights conferred upon the animals under Section 3 and Clause A and Clause M of subsection 1 of Section 11 of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act and 5 freedoms declared by the Supreme Court are fully protected during such events. And provided further that any event of Jallikattu or bullock cart races so organized shall be held with the prior approval of the district authorities concerned. Provided also further that Jallikattu or bullock cart races so organized shall be duly monitored by the District Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals and State Animal Welfare Board or district authorities, as the case may be, ensuring that no unnecessary pain or suffering is inflicted or caused in any manner whatsoever during the course of such events or the preparation thereof. This brought about the regime change.
It was challenged.
Right.
Notification came to be challenged.
Yes, very much.
It is why so that the act came in.
Yes, exactly. Therefore, Mother, that's the background to the amendments. Yes, and subsequently withdrawn also. Subsequently also withdrawn at that instance. Well, the notification is stayed, then the amendment, then it was withdrawn. Now kindly see, Mallas, now Section 3 in this context, read section, the amendment to 3. At page 138. Notwithstanding anything contained in subsection 1, conduct of Jallikattu subject to such rules and regulations as may be framed by the state government shall be permitted. When you say subject to such rules and regulations, it has to be consistent with the notification. So it's not absolute. My Lord put it to me. This is not some absolute prescription. I can do what I like. Because your Lordship asked a very fundamental question. Does the judgment say that Jallikattu in any form cannot be done? Can't, Mullah. No judicial verdict can say that in no form, unless, Mullah, unless the act is struck down. That this is per se cruel. Means the fact itself, that's the argument also that is sought to be made. But that argument does not take account of the fact that the conclusion in paragraph 31 is in the view of the above facts.
Saying that 53, 54, those passages,
Yes,
those have been relied on.
yes.
Saying that it's inherently painful.
Correct, correct. In the light of the above facts. See, just read para 31, Malaz. It just in volume
Yes,
5.
we remember.
Yes. We have to examine, in the light of the above facts, whether the events that are being done, conducted in the states of Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra, are in violation of so and so, so and so. That the above facts are the 3 reports. The 3 reports is the ears are mutilated, they are administered alcohol, the tails are cut, the spine is cut, the tails are twisted, that's all, regime is gone.
Document has been advanced.
Yes, Mother.
That in spite of whatever is produced as whatever provisions are there
Yes,
to prevent cruelty,
yes,
at the implementation level, these are not being followed.
yes, yes,
And actually we'll have to lay down some principle that if a law contains many preventive measures, but if in real life it is found that these are violated in toto,
correct.
then would it be open for the court
Yes,
to hold that these provisions are unimplementable and the act remains inherently cruel?
Whereas I hope your lordships do that in another case, not in this.
No, we are asking as
And
a,
I tell your lordships,
we
Mana,
are asking as a legal proposal.
Mala, I'm talking about legal proposition. I tell your lordships why I'm saying this. Mala, this report that my learned friend relied upon was filed in this court on the 15th of November, one day before the hearing. It is a private investigation. One day before the hearing, the state of Tamil Nadu has not yet been served with this. That's why I said, well, let's leave it for another case.
This one.
This 15th of November. And then they said it's uncontroverted. Whereas we'd like to know what is this procedure in law that a report is filed one day before the hearing. Well, just think about it. This practice has been continuing since when? Since 2017. That's the position. Well, the act came into force in 2017. We're in 2022. Have they filed a single FIR in the state of Tamil Nadu for violation of the rules?
According to you, this report does not have any probative value.
None, zero. Which is why, Malad, I said maybe in another.
Let's forget about this report.
I'm sorry? Yes,
Let's forget about the report.
yes,
But the argument was that whatever the amendments have been made
yes,
in 2017, these are all cosmetic changes. And the previous provisions and the later provisions, as you say, subsection 2 or section 3, subject to rules. If you go to the rules, apart from only some kind of a cosmetic changes have been given effect to, otherwise the rules standard remain the same.
absolutely. I'll show that, Malad. I've got the rules, I've got a chart, I've got a comparison. I'll demonstrate to your logic that's completely wrong. Malad, this is the problem. This is the problem. We're in a 32 petition. We're in a 32 petition. There is no foundation of fact. No foundation. Your lordships are now assuming a lot of facts which are not before the court. And your lordships have been asked to adjudicate that in a 32 petition, being that the changes are cosmetic. Well, what's the judicial basis of deciding that? That the changes are cosmetic? In fact, Mullah, if your lordships ask me, not as representing a party, this is no process of adjudication. To file a 32 petition, you don't do anything from 2017 to 2022. There's not a single FIR. There is not a single complaint. There is not a single representation. You file an investigation report of an international agency, and Mullah, I'm not criticizing the agency. You file a report on by an international agency 1 day before the hearing. You don't serve it on the state of Tamil Nadu, and then you make submissions that this is uncontroverted, and your lordships will have to decide on that matter in a 32 petition. How is it possible? If Malaj, he has a grievance on the process, let me answer directly, your lordships, this question. If he has a grievance on the process, there are two ways he can address that grievance. One, he can address it to the government, to the central government, that look, these rules have been made by Tamil Nadu, you have given assent, but see what's happening on the ground. Send the Animal Welfare Board of India to find out what's happening on the ground. Use that report, just as it was done in the 2014 judgment. Use that report on what is happening on the ground and seek redressal. That's one way of doing it. The second way of doing it is to file a suit and say that, look, the state of Tamil Nadu has framed these rules, and these private persons are conducting this Jallikattu in this fashion, which is entirely contrary to the rules, and the state is not doing anything about it.
One thing. Now, this report, it seems that it is by PETA.
Yes.
And this is the petitioner in petition 26.
Yes.
Petition.
Yes.
And subsequent to the submission of this,
Yes.
now they are actually not pressing this.
Yes. Yes. The notification. That's the notification.
No. It is submitted that only the second petitioner is pressing this repetition.
That's the Animal Welfare Board that's gone out of the picture.
That is what I am saying.
Yes. Yes.
We are saying PETA, they have submitted this report.
Yes. Yes.
After submitting the report,
Yes.
now they are not pressing their repetition.
Correct. No,
They are different bodies.
they're different bodies, Mullah.
No, it is better. People for ethical treatment of animals, whether it is one and the same or not. Take the repetition number.
A private body, Mullah. They are a private body. PETA is a private body.
That is why.
Welfare board is not the same.
Welfare Board is not, Mullah. That's the statutory body, which is the reports, 2013 report this was submitted.
Take this discussion and conclusion towards findings of PETA.
Yes. Yes, I'll take that. That's what they write about.
Only to have clarification on that.
Yes, I certainly clarify, Mullah.
At page number 88,
Yes.
the caption is discussion and conclusion.
Give it to me. Where is my file?
Whether this report is by PETA or any other body.
No, just by PETA, Mullah.
That is why.
Yes.
See the findings of PETA.
Yes.
And now take this repetition. It is the first petition is PETA means the people for ethical treatment of animals.
Animals, correct.
Animals.
Correct.
So that organization is the first petitioner.
That's correct.
That is why we are asking this. After submitting this, now
They have not withdrawn. PETA has not withdrawn.
first petitioner is it says that the second petition alone is it seems that that was a submission.
No, PETA has not withdrawn. The first petition in 23 is the Animal Welfare Board of India.
It is in 23.
Yes, in 23, Malaj, not 16, not 16.
It is not in 20.
So, Malaj, so this is, now I would like to know, in the suit, somebody will have to plead facts. Somebody will
There
have to.
also,
Yeah.
it is the petitioner's report.
Yes, that's precisely my argument, Malaj. That's
That's why-
precisely my
It is
argument.
the petitioners.
A
Whether they are present or not, it
petitioner, a
is the
petitioner who remains quiet from 2017 to 2022, a petitioner who is a private person doesn't file a complaint, a petitioner who doesn't represent to the central government, a petitioner who doesn't represent to the state government, a petitioner who does not file a suit, a petitioner who files a report on the 15th of November, 1 day before the hearing, and then asks your lordships in a 32 petition to decide on facts. What procedure is this? So in fact, one of my submissions is going to be that this petition doesn't lie. It should be dismissed at the outset for the asking. Video. I have videos also, Malad. In fact, I have prepared a video. Is that what your lordships are going to do in the 32 petition? See one video, see the other video, then decide what are the facts, and then give a finding, and then decide on whether Jallikuttu should be allowed or not. There must be some procedure. Yes. Yes, absolutely. And your lordship notices, Malad, these statistics are based on newspaper reports.
No investigation.
No investigation also. Where is that?
The beginning.
Right in the beginning, your lordships will find that.
The bottom, page 4. Page 4.
Page 4, Malad, at the bottom. 1118, it starts. Yes. Kindly see at page 1121, the following statistics have been compiled based on multiple newspaper reports, articles. Your lordship knows, your lordship has laid the law on that already. I don't have to say anything more.
Who went to investigate? No names.
Who went to investigate? No names are given. Well, therefore, I said to your lordship in response.
By an affidavit.
No, not. I have not even been served. An IA is filed on the 15th. Yes, I know. As I said, if somebody had to file a suit, he'll have to prove these facts. And I have to be, and an IA is filed in Article 32. Dehorts, matlab other things. And this complete regime change has resulted in a regime which, in fact, deals with all the issues that were prevalent in the previous regime and seeks to deal with them. Now, I will not say, Malaz, that there are no violations. There will be violations. You have UAPA, there are violations. Which, under the Code of Criminal Procedure, there are violations. No statute was at the time of implementation will be demonstrated to have been followed in both law and spirit, in absolute terms. Cannot be. It's never. Do you then say that because one person was injured or one person died or something like that happened, therefore this should be banned? This is apart from custom, apart from other facts, and in the absence of any determination. So, Malaz, my respectful submission is this report cannot be looked at. And other than this report, they have no argument. That's the leitmotif, so to say. The fundamental basis of their submission is facts determined by court, facts sought to be set aside through legislation, therefore separation of powers, therefore rely upon the Karnataka judgment, which determined the allocation of waters, and the legislation sought to set aside that allocation or violate that allocation. What's the relevance of all this here? No relevance at all. By us. In fact, we have filed FIR. The state has filed FIRs against individuals for violation. 1094, Malas, your lordships will see in the same volume. Yes. Yes, I'm saying 1094 of the same volume. This is document number 60. And what is the duty of the petitioner? That if there is any violation, take action, file an FIR, demonstrate to the court that, look, this is what happened, this is what we said in the FIR, this is the finding, this is the investigation going on.
So at first you can say that this report, it contains materials collected by the petition.
No, it's by newspaper reports.
That is why collected by the petition.
Collated by them.
And again, whatever. And then produced without any
And produced on 15th November, one day before the hearing.
affidavit also.
I've not seen the affidavit. I've not been served.
We are asking this, therefore, to what sanctity can be given to that?
Well, my respectful submission. My respectful submission is, because you cannot, your lordships, you cannot even look at it. Because these are all disputed questions of fact. And in 32 petitions, it cannot be resolved.
Yeah.
And Malat, there's a statutory board that deals with all these things. That's an expert body. So 1094, your lordships may note, Malat, where we've all given all the particulars of the FIRs and the action that we've taken. Malat, then there is the written submissions filed by Malat, the statutory authority, that is the Animal Welfare Board of India, which a colleague of ours, Malas, mentioned yesterday, if your lordships will remember. And that's filed, Malas, on the 22nd of November, 2022. Yeah. Your lordships, be kind enough to look at page 5 of those written submissions. By this time, I know that. Yes, on behalf, no. Animal Welfare Board of India, filed on 22nd of November, 2022.
In which?
23. It's in 23. Yes, WP 23. Well, I just want to read the written submissions, if your lordships will permit me. Page 5 of the written submissions. In the case of conduct of Jallikattu, it is submitted that in the year 2018, 19, 20, 21, and 22, Jallikattu events were conducted under the strict vigilance of Jallikattu Monitoring Committee, which ensures that the laws, rules, and this Honorable Court's directions are followed strictly. The AWBI has framed detailed guidelines for regulating the events to prevent infliction of unnecessary pain or any suffering to bulls during such events. The AWBI has also requested the government to issue strict district-wise notification before conduct of each event of Jallikattu and a copy of notification to be forwarded to the AWBI well in advance for necessary action. Further, it is submitted that the aims and objects of the AWBI is to prevent cruelty and unnecessary pain and suffering to animals and not to hurt the sentiments of emotions of people. State has amended their respective acts to ensure that they are in consonance with the PCA Act and also taking care of the objectives of the Act in 1960, as well as directions issued by the court in Nagaland. Now, while I'm at this, Malas, kindly I've prepared a little chart for your lordships. I won't take too much time. just to indicate to your lordship as to how there is a complete change of regime. Just give it to my lord. It's in the compilation, Malad. The 2009 regulations, and in compared it to the procedure in terms of which Jallikattu is conducted, Malad, in Tamil Nadu and the districts in 2017 onwards. It is at page 93 of the compilation in volume 1. Well, he has not told your lordship the procedure for conduct of Jallikattu in Tamil Nadu issued to all district collectors, plus the standard operating procedures for the department concerned to ensure safe conduct of Jallikattu. Not part of that at all.
That is not.
And even the other part is a bit, well, it's somewhat not exhaustive, to be kinder,
Yes.
because it should not cause unnecessary pain and suffering. Now, if you look at this chart, Malad, your lordships will find the first is the 2009 regulations. The second column is procedure for conduct of Jallikattu, but see, Malad, subclause 2 there. Organizers shall also obtain prior permission from the collector for the persons as well as their bulls for participating in Jallikattu, which was not there before. The individual concerned and the bulls. And 3, the collector shall, on grant of permission for any cause an inspection of the venue selected for the conduct of Jallikattu. That also is done. Over the page, you will see the collector shall form a committee on Jallikattu, not part of any of the previous regime, comprising of officials from revenue, animal husbandry, police and health departments to oversee and monitor the conduct of Jallikattu and ensure that the Jallikattu is conducted in conformity with these rules. The organizers shall ensure that the bulls are put to proper test, absent in the earlier regime, by the authorities of the animal husbandry department, and that no performance enhancement drugs, irritants are administered to the bulls in any form, not there in the previous regime. The collector shall, with the assistance of experts of animal husbandry department, ensure that the bulls are free from any diseases and not intoxicated or administered with any substance with the object of making them more aggressive or ferocious. Not there in the earlier regime. This part, Malas, bulls are free from diseases and not intoxicated. The organization shall conduct Jallikattu in an open ground with the following facilities. The bulls shall be provided rest for a minimum of 20 minutes, not there in the earlier regime. Kindly come, Malas, over the page. In the holding area, each bull shall be provided adequate space to exhibit the normal behavior. Each bull shall be provided a minimum space of 60 square feet, not there in the earlier regime. Adequate feed and water. But the findings are there was no water, there was no feed. They used to come at 8 in the morning and the event used to be open at 2:30 in the afternoon, and no feed, no water was given to them. This all completely changed. Pace was cramped, all completely changed. Feed and water shall be provided to the bulls, and they shall be allowed to perform their normal physiological functions. Their Millets, the finding was that the hind legs of the bulls were full of feces and the other parts of the body of the bull. The bulls shall be under the constant monitoring of veterinarians of the animal husbandry department, not there in the previous regime, and police personnel to ensure the safety, security, and well-being of the bulls. The bulls shall be thoroughly observed for any physical injuries not there in the earlier regime. Now, this is on the second column. The third is even more important. The permission to conduct Jallikattu not to be given to such organizers who do not obtain prior permission from the district collector in the manner prescribed under Section 3, subsection 2 of the Tamil Nadu Act. Permission must be given only for those events that are proposed to be conducted in the manner prescribed under 3.2. Then there's an official Jallikattu committee to ensure that the Jallikattu Committee, as per Section 3(4) of the Act, is constituted well in advance so that all the concerned department officials are aware of their role in the conduct of Jallikattu events. A standard operating procedure stating the role of every department involved in the conduct of such events approved by the government is appended to this letter. Then kindly come, Millets, to 4 in this, the standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
Where? I'm reading the protocol. 1 second. Just, I'm going to read everything. Now, let's see the last column, the SOPs. Issue necessary guidelines and instructions for safe conduct of Jallikattu events. Issuing a model layout for safe conduct of Jallikattu. Processing applications received from the district collector requesting notification of Jallikattu event. Forwarding eligible applications after verification of required documents to the government for issuing notifications. Formation of state-level Jallikattu monitoring committee and deputing officials of Animal Husbandry Department to monitoring Jallikattu events. Obtaining compliance report for each and every event from the district collector along with data regarding participation, death and injury of both bulls and humans. Acquired data, consolidation of acquired data and submitting the same to government, attending to the legal proceedings on the ban of Jallikattu events pending in the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Then district administration under the chairmanship of district collector shall form a committee for Jallikattu events comprising of officials from revenue, animal husbandry, police, health, fire, rescue services, PWD departments to oversee, monitor and ensure that the events are conducted in conformity with prescribed rules. District collector on receipt of applications from organizers requesting permission to conduct such events shall form the above said committee comprising of officials concerned to the particular event. District collector shall cause to form as many interdepartmental teams as he or she may deem fit, with officers not less than the rank of Tehsildar, District Superintendent of Police, Assistant
It
Executive.
says only for implementation of the rules in its spirit.
Yeah.
That is standard operating.
Yes.
Subject to correction, you come back to page 93.
90.
Itself.
First page.
First page.
Yeah.
And to my
Yes,
understanding,
yes.
17.
Yes.
Up to clause 6, the only appears to be the phrase has been changed, but from 7 onwards. These are the, appears, to my understanding, are the additional restrictions which they have put in. Clause 7, you come on next page. 94 bottom, clause 7.
Yes, correct.
That appears to be are the changes which have been brought in while implementing and amending the rules.
Yes, yes, yes.
Otherwise, up to clause 6, only
No, Mother.
there is no substantial change.
No, I'm showing column 2. There's a lot of change, even Miller's in column 2. 3 itself.
You will find they are in 2, they put in clause 4. Said substantial change appears to be only in 7 onwards.
No, Miller. The formation of committees, all that, Miller, is all done under the new rules. Monitoring, ensuring that there's a veterinary inspection there. There is the space is provided, water is provided, feed is provided. All that is there, Malaj. Creating awareness among stakeholders, prior arrangements, examination of bulls. There's an examination of bulls that takes place. Avoidance of unnecessary pain and cruelty to the bulls. That's also part of it.
Can you kindly come to page 152, where you have set out the rules?
Yes, 152. Yes, volume 1.
Before that, perhaps 151.
All right.
Because we would like to get a sketch, of how there are different areas.
Yes, there are different
the holding area, the arena, the bull run area.
Well, I'll tell you a lot. There is first a holding area
That's right, where they are brought.
where they are brought and enough space is given to them.
Space is given, no difference.
Correct? Then they move on, Malats, and there are veterinary
That's right.
doctors
No
who
difference.
examine them.
Now you've come
Yes,
to page 152.
152. Yes.
We are at rule 5.
Arena.
Arena.
Correct.
Now, just notice certain features.
Yes.
The arena shall be at least a 50 square meter area.
Correct.
A 50 square meter is obvious, but the elite sites is 50 meters.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
The square area.
Yes.
The bulls will have to be embraced by the participants within this 15 square meter area.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
No problem. There also we will take it that. Now you come to 5.2.
Yes.
That is where, the whole thing. Participants shall not be permitted to stand in front of the bulls as they enter the area.
Correct.
Fine. They shall also not be permitted to block the exit way for the.
Correct.
Fine. The participants,
Yes.
next sentence,
Yes.
shall be permitted only to embrace the bulls
Yes.
by their humps
Yes.
and run along with the bulls for 15 meters or for 30 seconds or to sustain 3 jumps of the bull.
Correct.
Now, just juxtapose this with the last sentence of the paragraph.
Yes.
The 15-meter area shall be liberally strewn with the coir path for cushioning effect to prevent any injuries to the bulls or the participants.
Yes.
Now, when you are entering a 50 square meter area, the entry point, you're putting a carpet.
Quiet.
Coir
Quiet.
path.
Yes.
So difficult. Now, do you think that the bulls will ever run on the coir path? You're talking about a 50 square meter area. We're just trying to exercise our imagination a little bit. The 15 square meter path from any point of a square, you're taking it on a horizontal basis. We take it.
Correct.
Correct. To the other
Correct.
side of the
Correct.
square.
Absolutely right.
So the bull will be running, in all directions. The
No,
bull is-
no. It doesn't happen that way.
Unless you barricade the bull.
No, the
Unless you
barricade
say-
is on the left and right side so that the public cannot enter.
What I'm saying is something different. See, when the bull is being ambushed as it perceives it.
Yes.
Bull is under this flight. So the bull is not going to stick to a particular.
It does. Unfortunately, I've seen it myself. It does. Malas. What happens is, I tell you, this is a 15-second exercise.
That's right.
15-second exercise. The bull is running,
The bull
and
is
he
running.
goes
The bull is
on
going
to the back of the bull and embraces the hump, and he does it for 15 seconds. 3 jumps of the bull, and that's over.
What you're saying is, on the ground, you think the bull is going to run only.
He does.
Only in that direction.
He does. Actually, he does.
Okay.
I've seen it, Malas. But anyway, I can't be giving evidence. But yeah, we got videos to that effect. But be that as it may, Malas, this is
The second point we're
Yes.
going to ask. You will see that the participants or the human beings are allowed to touch it,
no,
embrace it,
no.
embrace.
Only one person.
Only
Only one person.
only one.
Only one person allowed to go onto the bull. Only one person.
Where does the rule provide for that? The participants.
They qualify if there are 2 persons. Malas.
So where is it all mentioned? Because they say participants.
The committee does that, Malas. I'm just telling your
But
lordship.
the rule doesn't say so.
Yeah, but
the
Malas,
rule-
what we do,
The rule is elastic in that. To embrace
Yeah,
this
but
embrace area.
the committee
More
monitors.
than one.
Malas, there is no, I mean, we can file an affidavit to that effect, not a problem. But Malas, I'm telling your lordships, there's only one person. So that Malas,
Where is it said in the rule?
Malas, it may not have been said.
See,
We
as
can
long
put
as
it.
there is no law.
We can put it, Malas, that's not an issue. But
Unless we read it down.
I'll put that in the rules.
Because otherwise what you're saying is, the point that we are trying to make for your sort of elucidation is, you confine the embrace to a area of 15 meters.
Yes,
15 meters is equal to 45, roughly 50 feet.
that's right.
So that is a very short area.
That's right.
The participants eagerly come to make an attempt at, embrace.
One
All of them.
part. One part. No, Malas.
So ordinarily, we are saying because you have not said one. And
Well,
the
it's-
rule doesn't say only one. The rule says participants.
Yeah, but
That is
Malas,
the
one person
delightful-
approaches at a time.
delightful way to permit legally also if.
One person approaches it at one
Unless we
time.
read it down.
Malas, one person approaches it at one time. Malas, your lordships may record the statement. I have no problems in saying that on instruction. Malas, I've seen it myself.
How does it operate? After embracing this man comes.
Then he
back.
comes, they say over, it's over, he goes, exits.
No, there we are going to ask you one more question.
Sure.
No, because it's very important that we understand the mechanics.
Yes, sir.
Now we come to rule 6.
Yes,
Now this is 15 meters
yes,
from the entry point of a 50 square meter arena.
Yes.
It's a minimum area of 50 square meters.
yes,
Now you come to 6, which is what is described as a bull run area.
that's correct.
The area after the bull embrace area,
Mhm.
that is obviously the 15 meters.
Correct.
So from the entry point, we envisage that nobody is permitted to wait there. The bull starts running. It's running on a coir path.
Right.
It is running straight. It doesn't run, either direction. It doesn't take sides actually, as in the bull doesn't take sides. A double barricade should separate the gallery
Yes.
from the arena, etc., shall be constructed. Now, the second part, Rule 6.2.
After.
After the run of the 15 meters, when the bull enters the bull run area, the participants are not allowed to touch.
Correct.
So be it.
Yes.
The next sentence, the bull run area should cover a minimum of 100 meters length to facilitate the bulls to exit.
Yes.
Now, the exit is what is called the bull collection yard,
Yes.
as we have been just trying to reconstruct.
Yes. Yes. Correct. Absolutely right.
Now, how do you run? How does the bull run for 100 meters when the whole area is 50 square meters?
No. That's the area at the end. Manoj, there's a chart at page 92.
That's why we would like to get the pictorial.
There's a little chart.
After the 15 square meters,
That's right.
then the bull run area is there.
15, not square meters.
15 square meters.
Meters.
15 meters is run
That-
area.
that is-
15 meters is the run area.
After
It
15,
is 15 meters.
so after the arena is over,
Will enter there. Yeah.
Manoj, just look, there's a chart, Manoj, we'll give it to you. There's a,
What you are asking me this. When you kindly, I have made a pictorial.
Manoj, there is a pictorial thing here, Manoj.
It's a
Make a photocopy.
Arena.
We are just envisaging because the minimum is 50 square
Manoj,
meters.
I appreciate I just look at it. Manoj, kindly look at page 92 of volume.
92. Okay.
Yes.
That's the where the
That's fine. We'd like to
And
know.
this is the chart, Manoj, that is framed by the under the rules.
Very good.
Just see at that.
just
92.
the comparison what we do.
I've got a different volume.
The comparison. The-
Volume 1.
92
92
of the new
your
compilation,
Just-
of my
just now we
compilation.
supplied.
Just now we supplied.
Oh, 92. This is what we wanted.
Can you just clarify, are we looking at a situation of a bull after entering the arena?
Yes.
There is only one man vis-a-vis one bull?
No. There will be party.
No, if it completes the run and
Yeah.
goes into the resting area,
Yes.
during that process, it's just 30 seconds,
Yes.
right? So during that 30 seconds, are there more than one man making the attempt, or is it just one
Only
man,
one man making the attempt.
one man and one bull? After
Yes.
that, the bull goes for a resting area.
That's right.
Is that what you are trying to
Yes, exactly. And see, the chart will show, Manoj.
Number of persons will be participating, but persons who have to board is one person.
One
Where do
person.
you get that? Where is it mentioned?
That the committee decides that, Manoj. The committee decides.
No, the rules are silent there. Rules don't have such a thing.
I appreciate that, Your Lordship.
Because why we ask this question is, there is a reason behind our asking the question. You see, when you sort of cram the space as it were, when you bring in regulation and you say the participant will be able to embrace within only this 15 meters, and if it is not one, the result is going to be even more disastrous.
No, Manoj, but it's,
Because the bull flight which you are trying to avoid, it will become aggravated because everyone will rush in because you can have it
Well, that's-
at a go at the bull only
on,
within
on,
the
the,
50.
on the ground, that doesn't happen like that. I can only, Manoj, what can I say to Your Lordship till the facts come before Your Lordship?
The rules. We are
But
going
the
by-
rules-
Because you ask us to go by the rules.
No, I only mentioned to Your
We go
Lordship,
by the
there is a change of regime is what I mentioned. But I did not tell Your Lordship that every aspect of
Because
this
every-
particular,
if you
activity-
let us take the rule as it is.
yes,
It is not said participant. It has said participant. It does not say only one will be permitted. So we will envisage and imagine how it will work on the ground with reference to words used in the rule. That's what we are commanded to do by the law also. Now, number of them will swoop on this creature. Because this is the only opportunity they will get. Whereas supposing it's a larger area, you can at least allow for the possibility that they will make a try later on, Here, everyone will start at the same time.
It's like this.
Now, secondly, we are asking you, even with respect to this map,
All right.
how does it square with a square?
Well, I'm just
The
explaining.
diagram, to our understanding, when you talk about not a rectangle, it is a square. 50 square meters, unless I said corrected.
15
50
multiplied
square
by 6.
meters, 50 meters, square meters on all sides.
It must
It's a square.
15 multiplied by 6 is 50,
Sorry?
is 90 square feet.
Meter.
No. If you
15, your lordship, see a 15.
You have given us something like a rectangle.
Yes,
You have
yes.
given us a rectangle.
Yes, this is the area where Millar's.
No, Sibal, what you're pointing out, you just we wanted to draw your attention to. If this is the 50 square meters,
Yes.
it cannot be a square, it must be a rectangle.
No, Millar's.
Is it not?
Means the area.
Square meter means the area, Millar's.
Situation not going to be a bull flight because they're fighting.
That's right. It's not a bullfight.
Here the area would be 6 plus 6, 12 multiplied by 15. It is 180 square meter.
And one last query we wanted to put to you.
Yes.
When it comes to the CCTV camera,
Yeah.
you will notice one feature.
Yeah.
Unless, we are kind of tempted to, persuade, to read it down. When it comes to there are two places where CCTV camera are mentioned. One is the holding area
Yes.
prior to the arena, which you find at page
Yes.
92.
Hmm.
The,
Yes.
I'm sorry, 151. 151, you will see,
Yeah, your lordship is reading the rule. Yes.
through 37.
Yes.
Closed circuit camera shall be fixed at the vantage point and all the activities shall be monitored.
Yes.
Now you will see the next time it is mentioned, CCTV camera is in the bull collection yard. That is after everything.
Yes,
is over.
correct.
And there also you may specifically mention,
Yes.
conspicuous by its absence is monitoring of by CCTV camera what happens in the arena.
No.
That's
Not able
there.
to see it unless you're able to do it.
7D, Millar's.
7B.
Rule 7.
7B, 7, route 7.
Rule
7.
7.
CC 7
Yeah.
says,
Yes.
closed circuit camera shall be fixed at vantage point in the bull collection area.
Yes.
There is absolutely no mention about the
G, Millar's G. Closed circuit can be fixed at the vantage points and all
Where-
activities shall be monitored.
Vantage points.
where?
G, Millar's 7G
G.
7G.
at the bottom.
151.
7G of 3
151.
at page 151.
At 151.
51, yes, this is 7G.
G.
7G is at the time of the.
No, all activities shall be monitored and recorded.
We take it that it.
Yes.
So then why is there a specific mention again in the
That area also, Millar. That area also. That area also, Millar. There is no difficulty.
But I think a lot of gaps are effort is being made to fill up a lot of gaps in the routes.
No, Millar, this is.
One bull, vantage area, where the CCTV cameras, I mean, all these.
But the CCTV cameras are everywhere. It covers all activities. It says so. The rule says so. And Miller, nobody has challenged any of this.
No, not that. We are just trying to understand the picture,
I
not
understand.
just the challenge. You see, the bull, one man making one attempt, then the bull flies away,
That's correct.
and then thereafter resting.
Correct.
But here, instead of the bull flight, we are looking at a situation of bull fights. I mean,
No, there is no bullfight. Miller. There is only one bull.
Eventually, as it happens.
Miller, may I tell you, Lordship, there is one bull, the one going into the arena at a given point in time. That is over, another bull will go. Third one will go after that is over. There is no multiple bulls coming into the arena. It's not even the rules also don't say so. It's not, Miller, it's not confusing at all, Miller, with respect.
No, what you are saying are missing from what is written in
No, Malaj, I'm sorry.
No, this one man, one bull. You see, that's a very important thing.
Yeah.
It's a point that is being discussed now. That is not there.
Malaj, I appreciate that.
Because the word used is
The whole,
participants.
this whole sport is based on that. That if you are able to embrace the hump for 15 seconds,
So that one.
that's the sport. No, many people cannot climb onto the bull, Malaj. This only has to be one person.
You see, obviously there is one hump, and perhaps not more than two people can hold on to the hump. One would understand that.
Yeah.
But if an attempt is made by, let us say, 10 young men to go on to and get onto the hump,
But the
You see-
monitoring committee
you see,
doesn't
then-
allow that.
then the bull is looking at a scenario of, so many young men coming and trying to climb.
I entirely agree with you, Malaj, but that's exactly what is not permitted by the monitoring committee, which monitors all these activities. If somebody had made an allegation, we would have responded to it by affidavit. How do we, Malaj, respond to all this?
No, because the rules parts.
So
they
we
do
come
not
to rule
give it.
3-4.
3-4, okay.
You have to answer that.
Correct. Form a committee comprising of officials of so and so to ensure that the Jalli are conducted in conformity with these rules.
In conformity with these rules.
Right.
No, therefore these rules means participants.
Malaj, they are
Participants.
participants.
Committee, supposing they go to say, the rules permit us, participants, and it doesn't say one.
I tell you, Lord, what it says. If I just allow me for a minute.
More careful.
A little more, a little more, minute only. When we say participants, I mean there are several participants that are available there for the activity for each bull that goes into the arena. Whereas each bull will have, there are several participants. The next bull will have another participant. The third bull will have a third participant. Participants is in that context, not participants pay one run of the bull.
It says bulls first.
That's what it is.
Participate, bulls.
Only one person approaches the bull.
There in the rules.
Participants are not allowed to touch the bulls.
There are number of bulls.
Number of bulls, number of participants, but that's in the area. In the whole number of bulls, number of participants.
These participants, if you see rules in 5-2, participants shall not be permitted to stand.
In front of the bulls, correct? Because there are several bulls and several participants.
So will that mean that participant there, plural, is referring to the participant who is going to appraise?
No, these participants are in the holding area. They will not be allowed to be stand in front of the bull. That's in the holding area. Then when the bull goes into the arena, Malaj, then one person only goes there. So participants is in that context where it's the holding area. Well, it's the monitoring committee.
Where do you get all this? And the monitoring
No,
committee under the rule is expected.
Well, if your lordship wants, I will put an affidavit on procedure.
Mr. Sibal,
Yes.
we are just testing the rules.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Now, 5.2,
Yeah.
it talks about participants be permitted, participants be
Yes.
permitted to embrace.
Yes.
And you are saying that our committees will monitor
Yes.
that only one person is trying to do.
Yes.
And what is the committee supposed to do? Monitor in accordance with the rules. Now, suppose one participant, not one participant, group of participants stand up and say, how as a monitoring committee you are stopping me or stopping us, this group of 10, because your rule says 10, your rule says participants.
Justice Roy asked me, may I just answer that, Malaj, if your lordship will see? Can I read the rule again with
Yes, yes, please.
It says the participants. Now just pause here. Participants are all in the holding area. They are the participants, Malaj. Oh.
In the area. Bull.
Shall not be permitted to stand in front of the bulls.
Correct.
Bulls means there is more than one bull.
Correct.
So, Malaj, we are in the first sentence of this procedure. There are more than one bulls in that arena. Participants, there are more than one participant. They will not be able to stand in front of the bulls. Okay, now let's go forward. They shall also not be permitted to block the exit way of the bulls. The participants shall be permitted only to embrace the bulls because each participant will be entitled to embrace.
This
So,
each word.
whereas all participants can't be embracing one bull. seconds and 3 jumps, that's the end of the matter. Well, I appreciate what my Lord is putting to me, but well, somebody has to put it in dispute.
No, if you had said that only one participant will be allowed to embrace, if that sentence had been there, would have been a completely different universe altogether.
Supposing, well, let's put it this way, one participant goes in, he can't embrace.
Huh?
Supposing one participant goes in,
That's-
he can't embrace the hump.
But then
He
these
fails.
These details should be found in the rule.
Well,
You know why we are saying all this?
yes.
Today we approve it.